Hello,
How are you, man?
I am fine. Thank you for your
Okay.
support. Um,
Thank you so much for having me, brother.
Thank you so much for this incredible interview. I really
Thank,
appreciate it, and I
thank you
very
for having me, man.
respect
I've
you.
been a fan for a long time, brother.
I very respect you because you are very strong sportsman. Let's start
Yeah,
from
yeah.
the beginning. Musa, every
Yes,
fighter
sir.
has a moment when combat sports first become part of their life. What first
Okay.
attracted you to combat sports and how did your journey begin?
So actually, man, I've only been fighting for a good 2 years, all right? And in these 2 years, I've learned a lot about myself. So really what got me into the sport is um, I really wasn't lucky with other parts of life, like school, work, and anything. So I needed to find something that's gonna relate with me and something that's just gonna direct me in a different direction. So I've always been someone who's into fitness, but fitness was not enough for me. So I've been a spectator of the sport, boxing, and any other kind of mixed martial arts. So I actually just gave it a chance and only to find out that I was actually decent at this. And then before you know it, 2 weeks later, I was competing.
Your boxing experience. Also,
Yes, sir.
also, you have experience in boxing. What do you remember about
Yes.
your first day in the boxing gym?
Oh man, it's actually crazy because um my first fight is against was against the guy who's actually was having his first fight too. So what was crazy is that we met. That was the first day we met, and he's going pro very soon. I think he's actually going pro next month. So my first experience just going in there was the nerves. The nerves are all over the place, man. I was shaking, I was sweating way before I just went into the ring. But when I got there, I actually understood, you know what, this is actually for me. Because after the first bell, I just went at it and I had so much fun. You know, I just overlooked all the pain, all the struggle. I just knew this is for me, man. So yeah, it was just a life changing moment because now I just know where my life is actually headed to. Yeah.
Discovering your talent. When did you first realize that you might actually have serious potential as a boxer and as a MMA fighter?
Okay. So, like I said, I was a spectator for longer than I was a fighter. So I've been watching the sports for since I was in high school, and then I just sent a text message to my trainer, who's my coach right now. So he's also a former MMA fighter. He has over 25 fights, and he transitioned from MMA to boxing. So right now he's a bare knuckle fighter. He just signed with the BKFC, which is like a big step. So my first session with him, when you get approval from someone who's actually been doing this for a very long time, and they tell you that you actually have something going on, and this has always been a passion for me. So I just took his words into consideration that if someone who's been doing this for so long actually sees some potential in myself, I should give this thing a chance and I should take it more serious. And a year later, there was no looking back because I was getting like some real, really, really, real competition from really good fighters. Okay, and I was actually doing very well with them. As I said, I have over 11 fights with boxing, and out of 11 fights, I have 8 wins, two losses, and one draw.
Your story is very interesting because boxing training can be extremely difficult when you are
Yeah.
still learning the fundamentals. You have to
Yes.
develop your footwork,
Yes.
defense, uh,
Yes.
conditioning, punching technique, uh,
Yes.
and ring. Ring IQ. What
Yes.
was your early training routine like? And what part of training was the hardest for you, the hardest part?
Okay. So my early training, like I said, I was already into fitness. So the fitness part wasn't really that bad. What was bad was getting used to getting hit. So I was very punch shy. You know, I had to understand that the pain is what comes with the journey. That's what makes the whole story. It what makes the sport very beautiful. So I needed to learn some pain tolerance. I had to block all that out, and the nerves, just getting through the nerves. Because I would actually get nervous for sparring, not even a fight. I would get nervous for just going to spar when I was back home. So I would just sit at home and be like, do I actually want to do this? And the more I showed up, the better I got. So my training was more based on um, mental strength more than anything. It was just a whole mental thing. Just showing up at the gym every single day as much as I can until the fear went away and the love for the sport is what built. So my love for this surpasses my fear for what might happen in me. So the passion is what keeps me going. So I get excited more than I get scared when I have to go for a fight or go for sparring. So the early training was more based on getting over the nerves and the fear of the fighting. Yeah, yeah.
Your first amateur fight. What do you
Mm,
remember most vividly about your first amateur boxing fight? Who did you boxing against?
okay. So I went up a guy called Uzziah Chazana, and he's such an incredible athlete. I think you should actually, I don't know, if you would love to, you must just give him an interview. He's also has an incredible story. He's a very, very, very good boxer. And one thing I remember vividly is getting hit so hard, man. He's getting hit so hard and getting dropped for the first time ever in my life in an actual fight. But with the adrenaline just going on, it just kept me going. I stood up, fought more, we fought. So we had a whole back and forth. So given that it was my first fight, technically I wasn't the best, but I knew that I had the heart because I was bleeding, I was hurt, but I still kept going. And I went home with the win. So one thing I could just remember is getting hit, getting hurt, and still fighting through all that adversity. So yeah, man. One of my favorite fights, actually, my first fight.
It's interesting. I enjoy the interview with you.
Thank you, man.
You finished your amateur boxing career with an impressive 8-1 record.
Yes,
Uh,
sir.
how would you describe your overall amateur boxing experience?
How would I describe it? I would describe it as um very very educational. It's I feel I've learned a lot about myself more than I've learned anything about boxing. Because out of all these 11 fights, I would say it has prepared me. It's actually built me into a better man than I was before. So this is just beyond boxing, right? So I was very undisciplined. I was very just outgoing. I would just not live life the way I was supposed to. But boxing has taught me a lot about myself and discipline more than anything. So now I know how to say no to things that are not good for me, and I know how to focus more on what's good for me. So with boxing, it's way beyond the fighting, you know? It's a whole mental training thing, and it's taught me how to respect myself and the way of life more than anything. I've been humbled so much with boxing, you know? I've been knocked out before, man. I've been dropped before. I've been beat up at sparring and everything, but more than anything, it's taught me to keep showing up no matter how bad things are, you know? And with discipline, it's put yourself first before than anything. And then all the other things can come later. So boxing, I would say I had a really, really, really good time with boxing. So me transitioning to MMA was actually, I would say, interest sparked, you know. So it's like a kid discovering a new toy or anything, you know. You just get so excited. So it's like I enjoy learning so much. So I know that when it went to MMA, there's so much aspects I had to learn from. But respect to boxing, because I think boxing is way harder than MMA, because boxing is such a skill set you need to perfect. So I'm still learning a lot about patience. So that's why I actually transitioned to MMA over boxing. But boxing has really taught me discipline, because the discipline that comes with boxing is unmatched. Is unmatched. I think you'd have to go to the military if you want to learn any kind of discipline compared to boxing, man. Boxing has really, really changed my life and mindset.
Tell me please about your two defeats. What went wrong in the fights?
I would say my training, my training. So my two losses come from the same opponent. So the athlete I just mentioned, Uzziah, we have three fights against each other. So I won one out of three. He's won the other two. So one thing I would have to admit is he outworked me. He put in more time into the fights more than I have. Because I thought one session a day was enough. A 3 kilometer run was enough. Only to find out that he's actually doing twice the work I'm putting in. Sorry. So he would train twice a day. I would train once. So what happened there was fitness is what actually happened. I guessed out before he did, and nerves. So when you don't do all the work that you're supposed to do, when it comes to fight day, it's actually going to show. You'll be more nervous about your fights because you know that you didn't do as much as you can. So I knew that there was so much work I had to put in, but I didn't put in as much work as I should. So that's what actually happened. I could have worked harder. I know I could have won the fights, but he was just a better man because he worked harder. And that's something I can credit him for, the hard work.
Losing is difficult, especially
Yes.
when you have invested so much time and emotion into preparation. But many fighters believe their biggest lessons come from defeat. What did
Mhm.
your losses teach you that victories couldn't?
So my losses taught me that there's no shortcuts in this game. You can never rely on talent over hard work. A hard worker beats a talented person any time of the day. Because talent will just fly out the window just like that during the fight. If you didn't put in enough work, it's going to show in there. Fine, I was talented, I had the skill sets, but going later into the rounds, that's when discipline is actually what shows itself. Are you conditioned enough? Did you run? Did you run enough? Were you eating right? Did you do the work that you were supposed to do? And unfortunately, hard work beat talent on that day. So losses actually taught me that you can never go around something, you have to go through it to actually understand. So what I learned about myself is not to half-ass anything and go and invest in it full time. So no shortcuts anymore. That's what I learned. So right now I train twice a day, I eat right, and I listen to my coaches. Everything and everything.
Draw. I thought there
Mm.
was no draw in amateur boxing, no draw. Tell me about this unique story. How
Okay.
did you
So
feel about that draw and what did you learn from it? Draw.
so it was actually a charity event, you know. So with that event is it was set up for up and coming fighters. So it was like more like an exhibition fight, you understand. So what happened was I took a fight in a bigger weight class than I usually am. So I went there knowing that the challenge is going to be really, really big. So I fought against a very experienced opponent, and he was very tall. I'm very short, but he was very tall. And going in there, I had the idea that I'm going to have to fight this guy and not be technical. Because if you're going to be technical against a rangy and long fighter, you're going to get pissed up from a distance. So what I had to do was I had to close the gap during the fight, and he would actually score all the time, all the time, all the time. But having a great corner like my coach, with my coaches and my teammates, we made the necessary adjustments. Because I lost the first round, made the adjustments in the second round. I won the second round, so now it's a 3 round fight. He won the first, he won the second round. So going into the third, it was just a brawl, I can tell you. It was just such a back and forth. So we had the crowd making noise, and the judges were so invested into the fight. We saw them standing up and giving us um, giving us our flowers, just basically letting us know that we actually did a good job. So all the judges unfortunately scored the fight even. So they had the crowd have to decide who's the actual winner. But the crowd was both on our side. So the matchmakers had no choice but to give both of us the victory. So I wouldn't say it was a loss. It wasn't a win. It was a great experience, man. Great experience.
Your six fight unbeaten
Yes.
run. What do you
Mhm.
remember about that six fight unbeaten run? And when did you begin to believe a title opportunity was coming?
Well, I wouldn't lie to you. I started getting overconfident about myself. I started just being cocky and too arrogant. I really thought I was unbeatable at that time. So the promoter actually let me know that you might fight for the title if you just keep up doing that. You know. So after my sixth fight, they told me that I'm gonna have to fight one more time for me to get a title shot. Only to find out that whoever was supposed to get the title shot couldn't make it for the fight. So they scheduled me for the fight. So me understanding that I'm about to get a title shot was just amazing. But like I said, I thought there were shortcuts around this. I thought my talent was gonna help me with even my title shot. So I wasn't working as hard as I'm supposed to. So I was just relying on the fights that I had, the six fights I had. So I wouldn't say they were easy, but I feel like I was just two steps ahead of all my opponents. I was just outskilling them. I was outsmarting them and everything. But I had to meet Uzziah again for the title shot. We had a whole back and forth, and I lost by split decision. I was just this close to getting the title, and I'm actually glad I didn't, because you don't want to get carried away and lose the focus and um, get over, get ahead of yourself. Because like I said, I was too confident. I was too arrogant. I really thought I was unbeatable. So the loss just had me. It it helped me humble myself and actually understand that no, there's so much work to do. You cannot just rely on what you have. There's always room for improvement in this game of boxing. So I knew that after that loss, I went back to the drawing board and I worked harder and just harder and harder. So that was just a loss that I needed. So I'm just happy that the loss came at a title opportunity. It was not just a random fight. It happened during like me getting a chance to be a champion for the first time, in me pursuing the sport for only just a year. So I understood that okay, there's always room for improvement. And here we are, man.
Winning consistently changes the way you approach competition. You start
Yes.
trusting your skills more and
Mm.
believing that you belong at a higher level. But
Yes.
confidence can also become dangerous if it
Yes, sir.
turns into complacency. How did
Mhm.
you manage your confidence during your unbeaten run?
So what I managed is I have really good training partners. So when you know that you're training with people who are really good and you're actually doing well against them too, it keeps your confidence levels on check. So I couldn't, given that I was very new to the sport, I couldn't separate sparring and actual and a real fight. So me assuming that I'm having success against some really good people in sparring, I assumed I was gonna be just as good when I go to actual fights. But no, there's a reason why it's called sparring and there's a reason why there's fight day. The approaches, the mentality is way different for those days. So I have a very good team in my team, which is Standard MMA here in Johannesburg. So those people just kept me sharp, they kept me good. So that's what with kept my confidence just on par. So me losing the title shot, it did not discourage me at all. It just shifted my mentality in a different direction. I understood that, hey, there's so much work to do. Clearly your opponents are outworking you when you don't see it, because the real work is what is the one that nobody sees but only you and your team. So I understood that. Okay, so I know that deep down I'm a very hard worker. I'm someone who I trust my work ethic, and I know that I can go as far as I can with my work ethic. I can work all day. That's why now my approach to training is very different. As we speak, I'm just from a training session right now. I train twice a day, once in the morning, once in the evening. During the day, I'm resting.
What was going through your mind when you found out you were going to fight for your first title?
Oh, I was over the moon, I can tell you, man. I think I was the happiest person at that moment. It's like a kid going into like a toy store. It's like when I got the news, because my coach didn't tell me. He just told me that come to training. When I got to training, he told me that he has big news for me, but I'm gonna have to promise him that I'm gonna work hard. Then I said, of course. He says we have a title shot against a certain opponent. And I'm like, are you serious? It's like, yes. This is your chance to become a champion, but don't let it get to your head. We need to stay working. So my mentality at that moment was, oh, that means I'm that good. I thought I was too good for everyone. I'm like, if I'm gonna get a title shot in just 6 fights, then I must be a very good fighter. So I didn't keep my promise to the coach. I didn't work as hard as I want to because I was so ecstatic. I was so happy about the title shot, only to remember that I have to show up to the fight. And when I got to the fight, the nerves got to me. So I I kind of crucified myself after the fight that I was more excited about the title shot and I was not focused about the fight because it's still a fight. It's not that I'm gonna get there and the title's just gonna be handed to me. I'm still gonna have to fight for it. So I was going up against a very hungry fighter. So it just slipped from my fingers, but I know that it's something that I can adjust from. So I know that no next time when I get a title shot, I'm not gonna drop the ball. I'm gonna give it all I have.
High-level sports,
Yes.
boxing is not only about physical prepare,
Mm-hmm.
also about psychology. Absolutely, you are right. Psychological games, mind
Yes.
games. The
Mm-hmm.
psychology of an athlete is very interesting. How did you prepare mentally and physically for your first title challenge?
So mentally, what I did was I I do a lot of I do a lot of meditations. So meditations, basically, what I do is I visualize the fight and how it's gonna go. You know? So when I go on my runs, I try to I try to visualize what's going to happen during the fight. But sometimes it also backfires because when you get to the fight, then you assume the fight is supposed to go the way I visualized it, exactly how I visualized it. And when it goes south, I panic. I don't know how to adjust from it. So what I did was, um, I used to run 3Ks. I started running 6 kilos, 6Ks. So I extended my runs. And another thing that will help psychologically is the food. That's the hardest part for me, the diets. Because, when there's so much food in the kitchen and you are not supposed to have your favorite meal, it actually plays with you mentally. It's like, oh, I can't have a piece of cake. Okay. But that also helps because you know that you need to know how to say no to yourself, even when the opportunity presents itself. So mentally, it was putting my body through so much stress that when I'm in an uncomfortable position, I am able to handle it. So I extended my runs and I extended my training sessions. I put myself through very uncomfortable positions. I started sparring against people I was afraid of sparring, you know, the big guys, the heavyweights, the more experienced people. Because all I would do is just, I would spar against people I know I'm better than. Then I get a hang of them. When I start beating people who don't have as much experience, who are not as good, you start thinking that you're good, but not really. It's just don't have the good enough competition to actually push you to the next limit. So mentally, yes, I just put my body through enough stress to understand any kind of pressures that they are there.
Your first title challenge is obviously one of the biggest moments of your boxing journey. Even if
Yes,
the
sir.
result doesn't go your way, the
Mm-hmm.
experience can change you as a fighter. Experience is very
Mm-hmm.
important. Experience for your whole boxing journey. What did that first title fight teach you about yourself?
What I understood about myself is I can actually go places with this. If I can achieve a title shot in such a short period of time, when I started so late fighting, that means I can actually go all the way if I can just be disciplined and stay consistent. So it just taught me that the sky's the limit, man. Like I can really go to a different level if I wanted to, if I put in the work and the right mentality into this. So with the title shot, I feel like this was the universe or even God, for instance, telling me that this is actually meant for you. It's not a coincidence you are in the sport. This is the path that you were supposed to go. Because I don't think once you get to a point where you get a title shot, you get discouraged in any sense. It actually encourages you that to go the extra mile for the sport because I knew that I was this close to getting gold. So I know that I can do it again. And this time when I get the opportunity, I'm gonna grab it with both my hands and not let that opportunity slip out my hands anymore, like I did before. So last time I was just immature, I was very new, and it was just an amateur mistake that I made. But now I've grown, I have enough experience, and I'm very self-aware about the mistakes I made. So now I just know that, you know what, the sport is actually meant for me. I didn't get a title shot because I was handed one. I earned it. So exactly, man.
Yes, 100%. It's title shot, higher level. What was it like preparing to face the same opponent again for another title opportunity?
Psychologically, it is frustrating because now the worst thing I did was it came with the same approach. Instead of adjusting, I was working on what I'm good at and just doing the same thing, only to find out that this guy has already figured me out. He knows exactly what I'm going to do, how I'm gonna do it. So instead of readjusting, I just worked more on what I know what to do. And now I just understood that this is also a game of adaptation. You need to adapt to every kind of situation. You cannot stay the same. You see, so I had to learn that I need to put myself in uncomfortable positions. I used to just be an orthodox fighter, but now I'm learning how to fight southpaw. I'm learning how to fight. I'm learning how to switch fights. I'm learning how to do everything. I just have to put myself in very uncomfortable positions to become the best version of myself. So knowing that I'm going to fight the same opponent, it was very frustrating because mentally I already told myself that I think he's better than me. And usually that's not how I think when I go to fights because I usually go and fight people I don't know anything about. So I go there with the best and the best confidence about myself. So me having to approach and fight someone that I know about that is very good, it was very tricky because mentally I was not that strong. But when we went to our third fight, I was way more confident. Even though I lost it, but I was way more confident because I know that I've been with this guy in the ring multiple times. I've had 6 rounds against this guy, and we're about to have another three, which is gonna make it 9. So yes, I just had to readjust, be the best version of myself, but also put myself in uncomfortable positions and fight in an uncomfortable manner until I'm comfortable with it.
What did you change in your approach when you face that opponent for the second time? Change.
Okay, so firstly, I was very defensive when we fought the first and second time. All I was doing, I was just trying to avoid getting hit. So all I was doing, dancing around the ring, sleeping, sliding, hey. So what I knew is I had to be more aggressive and I had to start moving forward. So that's exactly what I did. So instead of trying to run away from him, let me bring the fight to him. And it actually worked, but it also got me in trouble at the same time because this is not an approach that I'm very familiar with, but it's also an approach that is going to help me with my other fights. Because after the third fight with my last opponent, I did very well with the adjustments I did. See, so I was really a defensive fighter, but I actually started to be more aggressive with my approaches. So being aggressive has really took me places. Because now, after the third fight with him, I started finishing guys. Even when I transitioned to MMA, I wasn't just someone who's trying to win by points like I used to. But now I'm finishing fights. I'm finishing fights. I'm getting my TKOs. I'm KOing people and everything. So the adjustment was from being defensive into being more aggressive.
Did the second fight feel more personal or more tactical because you already knew your opponent so well?
Or our second fight, I would say it was more technical. Because the first fight, we were both entering into our first fight. So none of us wanted to lose. So it was more of a brawl more than it is a technical fight, like a real traditional boxing. But the second fight, we were just trying to see who's the more skilled fighter. So it was really just a back and forth. Who has the better defense? Who has the better offense? So that's why it went to a split decision because our approach was very much the same. So we were very defensive in our approach the second fight. But in the third fight, I would say we were very aggressive. We were really trying to get each other out of the fight. And then, yes. So the second fight, I would say it was very technical more than the first fight.
Even without winning the championship, reaching two title fights is an accomplishment. I respect
Yes.
you.
Appreciate it, man. Appreciate it so much.
What are the biggest lessons you took away from those two title challenges, this dilogy?
The trilogy. What I took is never underestimate someone because you think you know them enough. No? So I don't ever overlook my opponents anymore. I take every single opponent seriously. It doesn't matter how inexperienced you are or how experienced you are. My approach for every fight now, I take it very serious. So this trilogy has really taught me something about nothing stays the same for a very long time. I thought I was fighting the same fighter I fought the first fight, only to find out that he's a different fighter now. That's what he also found out, that I'm a different fighter now. Leading up to the third fight, we realized that there's an evolution in what we are doing. We are getting better and better and better for every fight. So what I learned is um, adjustment. Adjustment is very good. You know, adaptation is very good, and improvement comes in consistency, because in between our fights we were fighting other people obviously, and us meeting up again, we are way different people. We are more experienced, and we our approaches are way different. So what I learned is not staying the same, really trying to get the best out of me by doing different things and applying different strategies into my fighting style.
Your former opponent has now moved into professional boxing.
Yes,
That
sir.
makes your shared history even more interesting. You both
Absolutely.
experienced major fights together before taking different paths in combat sports. What do you
Yes.
think about that opponent becoming a professional, and would you ever consider fighting him again?
One thing I would say is, because after our three fights, not after our first fight, actually, we actually became really good friends. You know? Even though we fought three times, we were friends in our second fight, we were friends in our third fight. So I personally would just say I'm really proud of where he's taken this, because we came into the game together, and him moving into the professionals. This is just a good I would say this is just motivation for me to understand that, you know what, dreams actually do come true. Because where we are from, just being an athlete, a professional athlete, is the big deal. Before being a world champion in anything or anything, just becoming who and what you always wanted to be is what's more important than any other accomplishment that you can make. You know? So what I would say is I'm very, very proud of him. And he's motivating me, and he's really giving me an idea that I am not working for nothing. There's actually light at the end of the tunnel. Like, this is actually going to happen for me, because if he can go pro and do well, then I know that, you know what, I actually also have a chance in actually being somebody in the sport too. So I'm very excited for his professional journey. I'll definitely be watching. And would I fight him again? Absolutely. Absolutely. In the professional scene, absolutely, absolutely. Because iron sharpens iron, right? So he can help me get better in my game. I can help him get better in my game, and we would love to actually meet up for fights and actually make money this time. Because in the amateurs, we're not making much, you know. So this time, if we can just meet up and make money out of this, I would be honored to fight my opponent again.
Could that rivalry continue? Would you be
Hmm.
interested?
Yes, yes, yes. If it means we have to go another trilogy in the professionals, absolutely, man. Absolutely. Why not? Why not? I mean, that's what fighters are about, right? We never say no to any challenge. We never say no to a fight. So I would absolutely be on it.
The main thing is to pay a lot of money, big money.
I know. Yes. Yes, that's my motivation. That's my motivation, man. Hopefully someday I can change my life in the sport, man.
Because titles is great, but money,
Yes,
but money important.
money is important. I need to have a family at some point. I need to feed my family. I need to change my life. I need to have a home. Absolutely.
Moving toward MMA. When did you first seriously decide that MMA was going to be your future?
So after my 10th fight as a boxer, um, so in my gym, my coach, he was a professional MMA fighter before he transitioned to boxing, right? So obviously at the gym, there's a section for MMA guys and there's a section for us boxers. So I just started dabbling with these guys every now and then. I just after my boxing training, go for an hour, train with these guys, only to find out that I'm pretty decent at this. And when I gave it a shot, I was very consumed by the game. I really fell in love with the sport, and I started watching a lot of UFC. So seeing that I can actually implement the art of boxing into the sport is what actually intrigued me as well. It's like, oh wow, I can still be a boxer in the sport. I can still, because even now my approach, I'm very boxing heavy in any of my MMA fights. If you can just see my MMA fights, I'm very boxing heavy. I box a lot, and if the fight goes any other way, I will readjust. But I'm very boxing heavy, so I started training MMA after my 10th fight. Got my first two fights, I did very well. My third fight, I broke my arm, but when I came back, I did well again. So I don't know, man. The sport just consumed me. I just fell in love with it so much, and I think technically I'm a better MMA fighter more than I am technically a boxer.
Oh, my friend, do you want to get into the UFC or do you want to be in EFC?
So the ultimate goal is the UFC. Absolutely. That's the ultimate goal. But with the EFC, that is something that will actually eventually happen. Because earlier this year, the EFC gave me a call. I was contacted to come and do my so they were evaluating us as athletes. So I might have an opportunity to fight for my professional contract in the next coming months. So latest is November. I might fight in the EFC contender series. And if I win, I might just earn myself a contract with the EFC.
In
So
your
the EFU, please go ahead.
continue.
Okay. So I would say EFC is more like it's an eventuality. It's gonna happen eventually. But the UFC is still an ultimate dream. I'm still dreaming of it. EFC is a plan, UFC is the dream.
Oh, my friend, in your opinion, will the EFC be able to surpass the UFC in the future? And what needs to be done for this?
Um, I'm not sure, man. I really don't think so, because the UFC has become the staple for all mixed martial arts. Given that they are actually also um, they are also introducing boxing into the game. There's Zufu boxing now. So UFC as a stage is always going to be the biggest stage for the mixed martial arts. But EFC has the potential to become one of the greatest stages in the world, given that they are already the best in Africa. So us getting the global audience slowly but surely is what's going to get us there on top. You know, So will the EFC become bigger than the UFC? I don't think so. But can it be a world stage? Yes, I absolutely think so.
EFC is very powerful now. I will be
Hmm.
rooting for EFC. I want your promotion to get closer to the
Hmm.
EFC or to the UFC. I believe in it.
Yes, I my fingers crossed too. If they can actually partner with the UFC and like have EFC in the UFC Fight Pass, it would be big for us African and South African fighters. And hopefully the pay is going to be way better, because that's what we want. We just want the bigger checks. If the money gets better, then absolutely, man. Because we have champions that have actually made it to the UFC. So you know, the spotlight is actually coming.
In my opinion, we need someone like Joe Rogan. He popularizes the UFC very much. Popularizes.
Yes,
We need
yes,
our Joe Rogan.
yes. Why don't you be a Joe Rogan, man?
it's yeah, it's pleasure for me.
Yes, man. You can be our Joe Rogan, man. I think you would do a great job. You would do a great job.
My
You
friend,
know?
I appreciate it.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely, man.
Uh,
It's cool.
My friend, why MMA?
Yeah.
What specifically attracted you to MMA?
I would say MMA has this energy about it, man. It's so unpredictable and anything can happen anytime. So the unpredictability, the diverse in the martial arts, like it it blends all the martial arts together in one, and it just makes it such one beautiful aspect of a sport. Back then the MMA just used to be, you know it just looked like some kind of bar fight and whatever. But with what the UFC has done with the likes of Conor McGregor, Ilya Tuporia, and everything, they've popularized it and they've made it seem like such a decent sport. Just cleaning it up and having it promoted the way it is. It's just so incredible, man. And the energy and the buzz around it is just mind blowing. Have you had the crowds in the MMA room, man? Like the crowds are just insane when something happens. There's so much adrenaline. I even have an adrenaline rush watching the sport, not even just fighting. I would just watch and like my adrenaline would just be all over the place. I'd be like, wow, man, I really have to be part of this. So as for boxing, boxing is a gentleman's sport, man. It's clean, it's way clean, it's more relaxed. But I feel like I'm such a ball of energy. I need something that's just gonna make me, allow me to make the noise that I always make. So that's why, man. It's just the energy.
Your first MMA training session must have been very different from your boxing sessions. What was
Absolutely.
the biggest shock when you first started training MMA? The biggest shock.
My biggest shock was how a 14-year-old can just abuse me as a grown man like I am, bro. I've had 14-year-olds just roll me all over the floor, and I'm like, oh my God, is this actually happening? Because, like, I've boxed a lot of good people, but the moment these guys put you on the ground, your whole mindset and your whole idea of how dominant and strong you can be just flies out the window. I was like, oh, this is a different game. This is a different sport. You know, this is not just a skill set. It's a set of skills. It just doesn't include one aspect of it, and it includes a whole lot of aspects. You have kickboxers, you have wrestlers, you have jiu-jitsu fighters, you have boxers, you have wrestlers, there's so many martial arts included into one aspect. So my biggest shock was how we overestimate our abilities as men, as people, that you can be humbled by the smallest guy in the room and it can happen very quickly. So I've had my first MMA sparring, and my coach, for some reason, I don't know if he was trying to prove a point to me, but he just gave me a 14-year-old. The 14-year-old started throwing me all over the place, all over the room. I was like, oh my God, there's so much I have to work with. But 2 weeks later, I was so consumed by the sports. I fell in love with it. I started learning so much, and here we are, man. Here we are, man. I am slowly, slowly getting to my own. I'm getting elite training. I'm getting to the elite fights soon. So yeah,
Wrestling is one of the most important parts of MMA. For a boxer, learning how to defend takedowns and control
mm,
opponents can be a huge
mm,
adjustment. How
mm.
difficult was it for you to learn wrestling and takedown defense?
It was very difficult, but I think if you're obsessed with something, you will really adjust well into it. So it was difficult, but I have really good training partners who are not trying to prove a point to me, you know. So I have people who were trying to help me more than trying to just outskill me or outsmart me. So um I would say it was difficult, but when you enjoy something, it's not as difficult as it seems. So I was just so in love with it. I was enjoying the process more than I was just feeling the pressures and everything. So I was having the fun. I was just having so much fun, man. I was having so much fun. So yes, it was difficult, but easy at the same time because I enjoy what I'm doing.
By the way, would you like to compete in WWE in the future? World Wrestling Entertainment, WWE.
For the money, yes, sir. For the money, yes, yes, I would love to. I mean, that's I think that's the first combat sport for all of us, right? For you too, probably everyone. When we were still little kids, 5 years old, the first thing you understood about fighting competition was the WWE. Before we were introduced to boxing, any kind of combat sport, we knew that there was WWE. And now that I've grown up, it's like, okay, if I got the call and they were like, "Hey, would you like to play a certain character?" I'm like, absolutely, absolutely. And the money is right, sure.
Triple H. Triple H, get your wallet.
Yes. Pay me good, man. Pay me good. It's gonna be good money. Here in South Africa, a dollar just means a lot here, man. So give me the money. Show me the money. I'm here.
Learning Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. How
Hmm.
has Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu changed the way you think about fighting?
Oh man, I understood that intelligence is the best form of strength you can have. You know, what I've been taught is jiu-jitsu is meant for the smaller fighter to beat the bigger fighter. So it's such a puzzle to figure out. Like there's so much intelligence that comes with Brazilian jiu-jitsu. So you need to use more of your mind more than you gotta use your body. So jiu-jitsu has just really showed me another different level and aspect into this fighting thing, man. It's such an incredible sport. I couldn't stress enough. And I would advise any child to actually take on jiu-jitsu if they want to learn any form of discipline in their lives. Jiu-jitsu is the way, man. It's such an incredible sport. I can't stress this enough.
Your one MMA loss is an important part of your story. Your record 4-1.
Yes.
Just like your boxing
Yes.
classes, it gives you an
Yes.
opportunity to learn and improve. Improve every day,
Yes.
better and better,
Yes.
day by day. What did that MMA
Hmm.
teach you?
Oh, so as I said, I'm a boxer at first place, right? I'm a boxer at first before I'm an MMA fighter. So my approach is very boxing heavy. So I went up against a national wrestling champion that time. So my mindset and my impression was I'm just gonna go out there and box him. That's when I understood that there's levels to this game. Grappling and wrestling is a very, very, very big factor in the mixed martial arts world, man. So I had to learn how to adjust because all that happened in that fight was I got out wrestled. You know, every single round. The moment I started getting comfortable on my feet, I get taken down and I was controlled on the floor. Taken down, controlled. Second round, take down, controlled. Take down, controlled. So I was so overwhelmed with the wrestling, and I was so unfamiliar with what's going on. I'm just used to fighting on my feet and striking. So I was like, there's so much I need to adjust in my game. And I made the proper adjustments. And ironically, my following fight, I won through grappling. That's when I understood that, hey, adapting is such an incredible way to just improve as a person, even in life, man. If you have any sort of challenge, instead of trying to change it, try to adapt. If you're struggling with whatever it is in life, with if you're struggling with health, you need to adapt to your health. You need to start going to the gym more, eating right. If you're struggling with finances, you need to cut down on the kind of living you are doing. Live below your means. Stop buying unnecessary stuff. Go and get a job. What? Just I think life in general has to do with adapting. Same applies with this MMA loss I learned is I need to adapt. I cannot just rely on me on my boxing. I need to learn how to do more of the groundwork, more wrestling, and anything that has to do with the sport. I need to adapt and learn how to do it.
Your MMA victories. Four victories in MMA demonstrate that you are
Mhm.
already capable of putting everything together under real
Yes,
competition. Which of
absolutely.
your four MMA wins are you most proud of and why?
Oh, oh, my last recent one, man. My last recent was the most flawless and clean performance I've ever had. The last, the other wins were like it was shaky. It was very difficult fights because um it was a whole back and forth. I was trying to do things that I'm not familiar with, but with my last fight, I think I've cleaned up every place and I've patched every hole I have in my game. You know, everywhere where I lacked, I have improved. So my last approach was just absolutely just incredible. My striking was sharp, my kicks were sharp, my takedowns were just clean, and because I outstruck my opponent, I outgrappled my opponent, and I finished up the fight by getting the choke and putting his lights out. So my last performance was the one performance that just has my confidence just brewing, man. So fingers crossed. My coach has mentioned that he has a fight for me next week, so I'm just hoping I keep the momentum going, man.
Your most difficult MMA opponent. Who has been your toughest MMA opponent so far?
Oh, it has to be my last loss, man, against a kid called Dominique. He's such a he's such a good prospect. The boy has a great future in the sport. He's exactly the guy I lost to. He's a wrestling champion. He has good boxing, but I didn't get the chance to box with him that day because, of course, you need to have a game plan when you're going to the fight. And their game plan was what? To take me down and control me there. And it actually worked very well for them. So I'm not complaining. I'm not complaining because it helped him. His approach helped him get the job done. So I would definitely say Dominique Ewoon. I don't want to butcher his name, but like yeah, that was my toughest MMA competition. And to actually think of it, he's actually smaller than me. That's what actually was wild. He's smaller than me physically because I'm bigger than him, but his skill set was just out of this world, man. He just made the correct adjustments. He controlled me very well on the ground, and out of that fight, that's how I actually learned. I learned a lot by myself. So thanks to him, thanks to the loss, I know exactly what I have to work on.
MMA adds kicks, knees, and other striking options. Low kick, high kick, how,
Yeah.
elbow, elbow. How
hmm
comfortable have you become with kicks and other MMA striking techniques?
Oh, so as I mentioned, man, I have the best training partners I can actually ask for, man. And I have very good kickers at the gym. I have really good wrestlers. I have really good boxers. I have really good Muay Thai fighters. So uh, I have people to help me with all those, and I could say I'm very exceptional in every aspect of the game now. My ground game has definitely improved. My stand up absolutely improved. My kicks, the kicks are very decent, but I'm not very a heavy kicker. I'm more of a exactly, man. Like, boxing can never run out of me. The boxing stays with me. I'm not really heavy of a kicker, but I have very good kicks. So all these aspects of the game, hey,
Your coach. Behind every serious fighter is a team of coaches who help
mm,
develop the athlete. Coaches can
yes,
influence your technique, strategy, discipline, and mentality. They also help you stay
yeah.
focused when things become difficult. Who are the people in your corner who have played the biggest role in your development? Tell me please about these important persons.
Oh, absolutely. So my coach trainer is PD Thunder Coxon. So he's a veteran in the EFC. He has over 30 fights, I think. Yeah, I think over 25 to 30 fights. He doesn't have a fantasy record in the MMA world, but he's fought the who's who of the MMA world. He was actually supposed to even fight our current champion, Dricus Duplessis, back in the EFC days. It was something that was supposed to happen, but unfortunately it didn't. But the man has a ton of experience. So with someone with that much experience, you listen when they talk, right? Because they've been there, they've seen it, and they know better than I do. I'm just a student of the game, so I will ask from those who've been there, who know more than I do. And then, so now he's transitioned from MMA. He's a retired MMA fighter. He's in the bare knuckle scene now. He's just signed with the biggest bare knuckle promotion in the world, which is BKFC. No, so him and his son have, have a really good partnership when it comes to the training, and they are the ones who are working on me and my skill set. So what their approach is, they're helping me become the best version of myself. They've never tried to change me. They've never tried to make me fight like someone I'm not. They all they're doing is improving who I am and what I can do already. So they keep me in check, they keep me focused, disciplined, and yeah, man, and they make sure that we are well taken care of. That's the most important thing. You know, if you're a good coach, make sure that their fighters are taken care of. You know, we avoid injuries as much as we can. He checks up on me when he needs to, and he's very, very, very strict on technique. So he looks at my technique and he helps me adjust as much as I can. So Peter Thunder Coxon, man, I couldn't ask for a better coach than that.
So, in the final part of our interview, I
Yes,
wanna
sir.
to talk about your future, your bright future. You are
Yeah.
now preparing to turn professional in MMA. That is
Yes,
an
sir.
enormous milestone after everything you have accomplished in amateur boxing and MMA. It means your career is entering a completely new chapter. How
Mhm.
excited are you about officially becoming a professional MMA fighter?
Oh man, I'm over the moon, man. This this were things that I could only pray for at some point. I was just a kid who stays in the hood, who had no idea of what he's gonna be or who he's gonna be. All I ever wanted was just to be someone in this life, and it's crazy how life has just directed me into a path that's gonna lead me to something that I can only dream of. When people say dreams come true, this is exactly what they're telling you about. I have a solid team. I have the skill set to back it up. I have um what can I say? I have a path. I know where I'm going, and like I'm just over the moon, man. I'm just over the moon, and all I will do is I'm not gonna leave any stone unturned, man. I'm gonna work as hard as I can, as hard as I should, and I'm gonna give it my all to become the best version of myself as a fighter, man. And I just can't wait. I absolutely can't wait, man.
What does becoming a professional MMA fighter mean to you personally?
Personally, it means I can achieve anything I put my mind to. Firstly, all I just wanted to be was just to be an MMA fighter. But now that is happening, I have bigger dreams. Now my approach is I would love to be a world champion. You know, I personally, it means it's so meaningful to me to know that I don't have to listen to what people think and what people deem to be what the correct way of life is supposed to be. If there's something that I would love to do and become, and if I have the opportunity and it presents itself, I'm gonna grab it with both my hands and not let it go. So to me personally, it's so meaningful, and I am glad that I'm able to be an inspiration to the kids around my neighborhood who are growing up with with without the right role models, because I'm from a very um ghetto area, man. I'm from a very um I'm from an environment whereby there's no source of motivation. There's no one we can look up to and say, I would love to be this person. There's a lot of bad influence going on around in my neighborhood. No one is setting a good example for the youth and the kids growing up. So if I can be a staple and be that guy for the children who are growing up, I would absolutely love to. So to me, it means the world, man. And I'm not gonna play with this opportunity. I'm gonna give it my all, and like, yes, I'm not gonna half-ass it. I'm just gonna go all the way and take it all as far as I can. And if that means this is gonna inspire the kids outside, then let it be, man. Let the kids stay away from the drugs. Let the kids stay away from the alcohol. Let the kids stay away from crime. Let the kids stay away from all the bad things, all the bad vices. And if I have to be the person they have to look up to, it's fine. It's fine. I would stay disciplined, I would stay grounded, I would stay focused, just so that everyone can have a chance at life.
I want you to be the first in history to be the EFC and UFC champion. First in history, unified EFC and UFC champion. Two
Let's
belts, two
Yes, sir.
belts, one story. Two belts, one story. Your
Uh,
story.
Thank you so much, man. Two belts, one story. That's gonna be my motto from now on, man. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
At your ideal professional opponent. What kind of opponent would you like to face in your first few professional fights?
I would love to face someone who really knows what they're doing. You know, I'm not signing up for any easy fights, man. I really want someone who's gonna test me and bring the best out of me. I really feel like there's so much I have to learn, and like if I can just get the best kind of competition, I will know how good I am. Because you'll never know how good you are if you don't go against the best people in the world, right? So I want the best fighters in the world to find out how good I am and where I stand in this game. So even if it means my first opponent is gonna be John Jones, let it be, man. Let it be, man. I want the best competition I can get so I can become the best version and best athlete I can ever be.
Who would be your dream opponent in MMA if you could choose anyone, dream opponent?
Right now,
Yes,
right now, right now, man, it would absolutely have to be Merab, Merab Dvalishvili. Oh man, that man is a machine, just like his nickname. That man is a machine. But if it's someone I'd like to fight, that's him. I think he would push me to the limits, to the ends of my limits, and and that's how I will find out how good I am.
Merab Dvalishvili and
Yes, sir.
Petr Yan.
Oh, how do you know that's my favorite fighter, man? Peter is like I actually try to implement how he fights into my fighting style, you know? So if there's anyone I would love to fight like, it's Peter. Peter Yan is like, I personally feel like he's the most well-rounded fighter right now in the UFC. Stand up, on point, grappling, on point, everything is on point.
Musa,
Yes,
thank you
sir.
so much for taking the time to join me on my YouTube channel, Boxing on Sundays, and
Thank you so much for having me, man.
your story with us, your journey from an 8-1 amateur boxer and two-time title contender to a 4-1 MMA fighter preparing to turn professional is exactly the kind of story fight fans love to hear. Your story is very interesting for our fans. I
Mm,
wish you nothing but success in this next chapter and hope to see you continue climbing toward the biggest stages in MMA. I
absolutely.
I will try to popularize the EFC. At least I am not Joe Rogan, but every interview is important. I love
Yes.
UFC. I wish there were more people like you who are open to interviews. Thank you for your opening.
Thank
And
you so much.
my final question, final message. What would you like to say to everyone watching this interview on Boxing on Sundays? And what message do you have to people for the people who will be following your professional journey?
So my message to the people is if an opportunity presents itself, man, don't drop the ball. Give everything you got when you have the chance, and yes, appreciate the people who are helping you along the journey.
I wish you more victories. Good luck with your
Thank,
professional debut. The next
thank you so much.
chapter starts now. You are the future of
Thank
MMA.
you.
I believe in you and I
Thank you so much.
respect you.
I receive it. Appreciate it, brother. All the best, brother.
Goodbye.
Cheers, man.